I'm not in debate mode. I don't know why y'all think that this is a debate. This is not a debate. This is just a conversation. So I want to get people's thoughts. I'm curious as to how it is that they see things, and maybe they can teach me something. So we just having a conversation. It's not always a win or a lose. It's an education process. You know, in this instance, I ask questions because I don't know. I don't know. And I want to get people's perspectives. And maybe I'm on, maybe I'm off, maybe I'm right about some things, maybe I'm completely off. But I would love to get different perspectives, and that's why I'm having you guys call in. Everybody think that it's not a debate. If y'all want to debate about something, then we can come up with a subject, but it's not always a debate. Resurrect. What up, Resurrect?
Hey, what's going on, Anton? Thanks for having me, man. Sorry
Chilling,
for the
chilling.
background noise. I'm
No, you
driving,
cool.
so I apologize for that. Um, hey, I put a super chat up. I wanted you because my dad was a Vietnam vet, so I put up Operation Popeye. If you have your laptop by you, I want you to look that up.
Operation Popeye.
Yeah, like Popeye the Sailor Man.
Operation Popeye. Military cloud seeding project. Yes, I read about this. I think it was in not Saudi Arabia, but it was in
Vietnam. It was in
Vietnam. But
Vietnam.
more recently, I heard that they're also doing it over in Dubai
So
or the
they're doing
UAE.
it in Dubai. Yeah, they're doing it in Dubai. They're also doing it in all over the United States. So what I was telling you, Anton, is they've been doing this since Operation Cirrus and Operation Cumulus, starting in like 1949.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is a way that they're going to commoditize carbon credits in the future and limit people's travel because we're in this new digital era, this new fourth industrial complex, uh, industrial, where everything is digitized, everything is going to be AI or robotics. So you won't need to have person to person interactions. They want to limit that more and have more and more people in the where the interactive internet,
Mm-hmm.
Web 3.0. So I read
Wait a
this
minute.
book by
This was sponsored by Henry Kissinger.
yeah,
Henry
bro. This
Kissinger
goes
just
way
died.
back.
Henry Kissinger was literally an advisor to almost every single major president up until his death.
Exactly. Starting with Richard Nixon.
Wow, I didn't know that Henry Kissinger was involved. Did you know that Henry Kissinger also advised Obama?
Yeah, yeah. Even he was even advising Gavin Newsom.
Mm.
So
Operation
listen, bro.
Popeye's goal
Like,
was to increase rainfall in carefully selected areas to deny the Vietnamese enemy, namely military supply trucks, the use of roads by softening road surfaces, causing landslides across the way, washing out rivers, and maintaining saturated soil conditions beyond a normal time span. The goal of the operation was to extend days of rainfall by 30 to 45 days each monsoon season. That's crazy.
yes, sir.
You know, I just reread his
So,
book, Diplomacy.
mm-hmm,
I just
mm-hmm.
reread the Henry
So
Kissinger book,
Anton,
Diplomacy. Yeah.
Anton, they're saying that under that mountain up in North Carolina is a huge deposit of lithium. So that
Oh, yeah,
would
yeah, yeah. And
make
then
a
North
lot of
Carolina. Now I
things.
heard that it was owned by BlackRock. That
Yeah,
BlackRock
and so they
recently
wanted to
purchased
flood.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So supposedly they wanted to flood that area out, and they have the technology to do that to get those people off that land so they can mine that ore.
I don't necessarily disagree. I mean, I don't. I've been hearing about that and I've been trying to deep dive into it, but I try to be responsible with the platform in order to be able to present the facts before I start to have a conversation about it because, those are sticky subjects. But I mean, I don't see where I would disagree with that though.
So that you see what I'm saying. I'm thinking that they're using this weather, this global warming ploy to charge people more, and in the future they'll probably limit what we can and can't eat. You can't eat that hamburger because you don't have enough
Mm,
carbon credits.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
I understand
they
what you're saying.
push this beyond meat and all this kind of stuff, and it's going to be another tax.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I
So
feel
that's all.
you. I
I
understand what you're saying.
yeah. So I was just trying to enlighten you on that. If you get a chance, look up HARP, look up Operation Cirrus and Operation Cumulus. That's where
Mm-hmm.
it goes back to the beginning. One of those, they dumped silver chloride in the middle of a hurricane. That hurricane changed its course, came on land in Georgia, did a bunch of damage. The state of Georgia sued the federal government, and they said they would never do it again, but they have, as you see. And that was back in like 1950 or 1951. Don't take my word for it, though. You can look it up.
No, no, no. I love this. This is why I asked the question, because I'm open minded, because I want to hear different perspectives for things that I may not have ran across or things that I may not know. You know what I'm saying? So, now this is awesome.
Yes,
This is
sir.
awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I,
So I'm not gonna keep
I'm
you.
with it. I'm with you.
I appreciate you for having me up, and I'll continue to listen. Thanks
Thank
for
you, bro.
everything.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
And see, this is why I'm always open to hearing other people. This is why I don't want to live in an echo chamber, right? Because when you live in an echo chamber, you prevent yourself from being able to obtain the knowledge, or at the very least, have people present information to you so you can ask additional questions. But see, it shouldn't just apply to um, climate change or political things, right? This should be applicable to everything. The reason why I'm able to say and have some of the conversations and deep dive into the stuff that I'm deep diving into, the reason why I switched from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party is because I listen to people. Some stuff I'll be like, interesting. I'll research it later, and I'll research it and I'll be like, oh, it was nothing to it. And then other things I'm like, man, you took me down a rabbit hole. I can't unsee what I saw. I like talking to people that have differences of opinion than me. That's why I say to the people in the chat, don't time nobody out that just because they disagree with me or they don't agree with what I'm saying. We all gonna laugh. We gonna joke. We gonna go back and forth with each other. But I don't like being in a space where my opinion is the only opinion that matters. I like having these conversations. I like debating different things. I like talking to people that look differently than me, that experience things differently than me. And so, it's awesome to be able to have a group of people like you guys that have such a broad knowledge base that can then have this conversation with me, um, so that we can get to it and we can learn more and we can be more knowledgeable and we can make more informed decisions. At least arm me with the information so I can do the research myself. But to be closed-minded or only want to hear from people that's in an echo chamber than you, I think that that's one of the worst things that you can do to yourself. The worst things that you can absolutely do to yourself. So, yeah, man, that was pretty interesting. Is it Bada Den Dem?
Hey, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, my friend? What's the word?
Yeah, I like what you're doing, man. I appreciate you. I've been listening to you for a while. My background is in technology. I am a data scientist.
Nice.
Um, so I have been looking at the trajectory of just the American economy in terms of, what we're using and how it contributes to your question today.
Okay.
Here's my reasoning why I say climate change is a scam, and I do agree with the brothers that came up. They do have valid points. So, we all know back in time, right? Back in the day, we always heard this saying, "Oh, the Earth is overpopulated," right?
Mm-hmm.
And um, climate, this is happening with the Earth and all that stuff, right? See, overpopulation, that actual propaganda, is
Mm-hmm.
actually being used in regards to what Bill Gates said a couple of years ago regarding using vaccines, new reproductive healthcare systems, introducing new viruses and stuff like that to actually depopulate the planet. So when
Correct.
we're saying climate change is, you know what I'm saying? It's not true. It's in regards to the propaganda. I'm not from the United States, and I remember coming up when I was in Jamaica, they used to show America like streets of gold, flying cars, and all these things, right? When I got here,
Mm-hmm.
none of that was happening. You know what I'm saying? It was just like back home. So I'm like, man, I thought I was gonna come here, land of milk and honey and stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying that to say just to put any Americans down. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying the
yeah, yeah.
deception. They have always been doing this for a long time.
Yep.
Another thing I want to touch on is the solar panel stuff. I'm glad you and the brother brought it up earlier.
Okay.
Solar panels supposed to be absorbing sunlight, right? That's what they say, right?
Okay.
But if you look into the process to actually like produce, get the raw minerals and stuff like that, it's the same thing they're doing to produce oil. You know what I'm saying?
For
So
solar
it's like,
panels.
yeah, the solar panels, the solar cells and stuff, the raw materials, most of those raw materials used to produce oil, or the stuff that we use to, just to bring the economy where it is.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the solar panels. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're telling us one thing about climate change, and there's some boogeyman out there and stuff, but that's not actually what's going on. I do believe what the brother was saying, that it has to do with taxing us more, you know what I mean, while they're in control of the natural resources. If
Mm.
you look at there's a seed vault, a global seed vault out there in I think it's Norway, I believe it is. They're doing these things outside of the media. They're not telling you, Anton, that hey, they have millions of seeds in these seed banks all across the world in case of a quote unquote global catastrophe that they're causing,
Yeah.
not the actual Earth. Remember, the Earth is literally a living organism. We put stuff in the earth, it reproduces itself and stuff like that. I
Yep.
mean, and it comes down in the form of ice, all the four seasons we got, right? um I've even heard in the media where they said that you can't drink rainwater. Listen, we bathe with this stuff in Jamaica. We drink rainwater. It's the most cleanest form of water you can ever put in your system. So they're doing things in the atmosphere there. You know what I'm saying? It sounds
Yeah.
crazy, but
No, it
if you look
doesn't.
at people
No,
that,
it doesn't. It doesn't
okay,
sound crazy at all. Trust me. So with all of the stuff that we see going on and what's happening behind the scenes, none of it sounds crazy to me at all.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So that's where we're coming from. When we're saying that this climate change thing, it sounds like a scam. They did it to me. They made America look like it was Streets of Glad, the Jetsons back in the day. So yeah,
Yep, I
you
understand
know,
what you're saying. No, that's
yeah.
great. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Take it easy, man.
Thank you, bro. I'm gonna take couple more calls. I'll go with Gabriel. Gabriel, what's going on? Gabriel, you muted if you're trying to talk.
Yep. So as to start as muting the YouTube.
What's going on, my
So
friend?
there's a couple. Thanks, man. I just got caught on watching it, but I love the variety of topics and different perspectives. So when it comes to climate change, this is cyclical. Like we're just coming out of an ice age.
Correct. I agree with you.
Hello.
Yep, I'm with you.
Okay. So if you look up the amount of CO2 greenhouses, like I'm talking about actual greenhouses,
Hmm.
that's the prime CO2 in the air for plants to grow.
Correct.
So that as we get a little bit warmer, a lot of these desert areas around the equator are going to become greener. Like right now, we're actually having a greening of the earth,
So you're saying basically
and
that the Earth is actually becoming better off,
yes,
especially in these desert places, because if it's becoming greener, then it's actually purifying the air and it's making it more livable and a greater habitat for
well,
humanity.
not only that, but humans thrive when Earth becomes warmer.
Hmm.
Like even in the northern climates, it gets greener. It gets more mild. Like people are saying that um global warming is a bad thing, but it really isn't. What we need to worry about is more polluting the actual toxins into the earth and into the water.
I got you. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm
when
hear
it
you.
comes,
I'm with you.
because back in the 60s and 70s, it was global cooling, and then we 80s babies and 90s babies, we had the ozone, and
Yep.
then it was global warming, and then all of a sudden they had to do it to climate change. Well, the climate hasn't stayed stagnant in throughout Earth's history.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
that's why it's, and when it comes to these renewable sources like solar and wind, those cost more than we get back in return, and those are diminishing returns. We have to replace those solars every 20 years. It's the same with the windmills.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
y'all giving me some insight. You teaching me a lot, man.
Oh, and the reason why the salinity in the water isn't because of the ice caps. It's just because as things get greener, things rain more, goes
Yep.
back into the ocean. So that conveyor belt in the Atlantic stops bringing all that mild air down to the equator down in the Bahamas and stuff. So when that slows down, the climate is going to change throughout, but that's a natural cycle too.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you, Gabe. Thank you, bro.
Well, thanks for listening. You have a beautiful weekend.
You too, my friend. Caleb, I'm gonna come to you last. What up, Caleb? What's the word? Can you hear me, Caleb? I think you muted. I don't know if your audio is working, Caleb. I see you. I can't hear you. There you go.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, my friend? What's the word, Caleb?
Chilling, chilling. So I'm hearing everything everybody's saying,
Mm-hmm.
and not as educated, but I can tell you, as far as global change or climate change,
Mm-hmm.
if climate change definitely is real, but the problem is if we were concerned about changing the climate or stopping it or slowing it down, I think our methods and our energy is being put in the wrong places.
What
So,
do you
like the
think that we
brothers,
should put our energy in our methods?
like for instance, our infrastructure methods. So, for instance, the man was talking about the brother Ivan. He was saying uh, concrete, right?
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you cultures, we didn't use concrete. We used natural resources. So we would use stone, bricks, mud, things like that. Things that were actually made from elements of the earth and not synthetic material.
Okay.
So then you also look at the amount of plastic that we produce. We're producing so much plastic that it's impossible to do away with it. We can't properly degrade it. Then you look at the landfills, the landmines, or not landmines, but where we're dumping our trash. We don't
Yep.
have any way to really get rid of the trash. So if these people with all this money and all this research was really interested in changing these type of effects, they will put the money into that. But instead they try to avert our attention. For instance, the cows, all the meat that people eat, they entice us to eat meat, but then they turn around and say, "Oh, we're having too many cows." So that stuff is just retarded because we're not the ones that's growing all these. We don't have these farms, and
Mm-hmm.
then we're not producing all these burgers. We don't own McDonald's and Burger King. They put this stuff in our face and they get us hooked on it. Same thing with the pharmaceuticals. That's a whole nother topic. But you're telling us that this stuff is bad, but then you hooked us on it. Same thing with
Yeah,
tobacco.
our food supply is absolutely trash, and it's really just a drug play. Food is drugs. That's it. That's why they call it the Food Drug Administration. Like our food is absolutely trash. 100%. I agree with you on that.
Exactly. And so my another point is, and I'm gonna let you go, or I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep watching from the bleachers
I appreciate you.
with the electricity. We had beautiful minds like Nikola Tesla. It's like they suppress innovation and they keep us on this one track when it comes to science. So if we really wanted to make different, cleaner energy, they would allow people to freely invent things. But when people come with invention, they suppress them. Like it was a
Mm.
man that came away. It was in Detroit that he was producing water out of the air, and then they came by and they destroyed his machine. He was giving
Well,
people.
yeah, I believe in that also. Yeah, I believe in all of that because that's capitalism, and so you basically eliminating the competition by preventing them from solving for the problem because it would then mess up all of the money for the solution. It's almost like, and I hate to say this, it's almost like, I'm not going to say specifically, some of the diseases that we have, cancer and
Hmm.
all of that stuff, right? I don't believe even for 1 second that we don't have a solution for most of the stuff that we have in our society. In addition to how it's being caused in the first place, because I believe that there's too much resources, so much money, and there's an entire economy that powers it, that allows for them, that allows for us to continue to profit off of each other's problems and issues and death. So yeah,
Exactly.
I absolutely believe in that. I try not to deep dive into it too much on the internet or on these channels. They
No, you
manufacture the problem to profit off of the solution, or profit off of treating the symptoms and not even providing you a solution.
nah, you're right, and I mean you're smart for not going into it on YouTube because it's just futile. I'm not trying to complain about it because in actuality we have to create our own society or do our own thing because they're controlling everything. So we can't get mad. We just got to do better. But on the
Yeah,
topic, there definitely is a cure. I mean, I had like a tumor, and this doctor, this naturopathic doctor, prescribed me to take some mistletoe, and it got rid of it. So they
really.
lock people up. They be yeah, for real. I did. It was. I mean, I doctor and got diagnosed for cancer, but it was a tumor. I used to feel it in my stomach.
Yeah,
Yeah, it went away, and it's plenty of people that got diabetes, glaucoma, herpes, HIV. They get cured all the time. They're not gonna say it. The pharmaceuticals are not pharmaceutical companies, so that's why it's not global or climate change is the scam, but the way they're presenting it is a money making scheme. They're
I'm
not
with you.
interested in what they're doing. They're not. But
I'm with
I
you.
appreciate.
I'm with you. Now I'm with y'all. I rock with y'all. I think that y'all hitting me off with some good information today. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, Caleb.
Yeah, peace, bro.
All right, y'all. We did it a little different. We winged it this time. We did a heck of a show. Friday was a little different. Y'all asked for it, and I gave it to you. You said, Anton, I want you to do a Friday show where people can call in, and I gave you what you wanted. All right, so don't say that I don't listen to the people. The people are my co-hosts. The people are my co-hosts. Thank you to everybody that contributed into the platform.